Hi everyone, I hope you're doing fantastically well. So this is we could call it a second part to part 3 episode regarding Manor World Holding Trust. Of course, in the last episode we went through Kim and some of her associates that were attempting to scam Liberia country from a lot of money, for millions. It was intercepted by federal members, which alerted the country, and they nearly got away with the country's Swift codes and account numbers. And it looks like it was quite easy for them to do it to that point. But luckily, we've got authorities and systems that alert us when there are things like this going on. So this week, with the key names we were talking about was mostly about Blair West. Now, on this one, we're going to go into who he is and some of the information that's been shared with us will show you that Blair West shouldn't even be anywhere near transactions. Like most of you probably know, you go to see a financial advisor. They need to be accredited and have a license for whatever information they're giving you. Well, this guy's got none of that anymore. And first of all, I want to apologise for having to put this into part 2s is purely because they're quite long and it's hard to put them together, and also people don't want to be watching 1 hour videos on the go. I think people lose concentration. Short ones are better, and we would also take suggestions from our viewers. If there's anything you want us to add in, take out, maybe there's something in there that is not relevant, then open to suggestions. So this is Blair West, and this was off his LinkedIn profile. So the key bits here is, he's based in Southampton, New York, and he was CEO for Crusader Financial Group from 2000 to 2011. Now, there's an article on the internet which I can get you. I'll put the link in the description field. Now, I can only see part of this purely because you need to be subscribed to Law 360. And I ain't going to be paying money for the sake of looking something up. But as you can see a little bit, if I zoom in. So it says in here, Law 360, New York, February 2nd, 2016, the Second Circuit on Tuesday affirmed the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission approval of a financial industry regulatory authority imposed lifetime ban on an investment banker who had misused client funds. The court found there was, now this is where it starts to fade out because they do that, they want you to subscribe, was substantial evidence to support the government claims that Blair A West, the principal of Crusader Securities LLC, misused $113,000 deposit supplied to him in December 2008 for a venture capital backed lease back transaction. I think that's what it says, and then it ends. But what we'll do is we've got the court papers here, and we've taken some snippets of it so that you can see for yourself what he was actually removed, that he was banned for life by SEC for misuse of client money. Basically, it's theft, and I'll show you why he used it. So this is the court released papers of 2015. Remember, this is before he was involved in the Liberia scandal. In a matter of the application of Blair Alexander West, okay, so it's giving you here Stanford and Solomon is, I guess, is his attorney representative. An action was taken by the FINRA. Okay, so principal of former member firm of Registered Securities Association misused customer funds to pay member firms' operating expenses and his own personal debts without customers' authorization, in violation of just and equitable principles of trade. Held associations' findings of violation and sanctions imposed are sustained. So this is the document where he appealed against being banned for life, having his license taken away from him. And he goes in a little bit more here. Okay, so Blair Alexander, sole principal of Crusader Securities, a former, so this is where you have to be a member, okay, of this FINRA. Appeals from FINRA disciplinary action, barring him from associating with the FINRA member firm. So it found that Blair violated the NASD Conduct Rule 2002-110 by misuse customer funds that were intended to be held in escrow pending the close of sale and leaseback transaction. So within moments of receiving the deposit, West transferred the funds to pay for his personal debts and fund Crusader operating expenses, spending the entire amount over a 2-month period. So it's theft. He used this person's client's money, and he was barred. So he had nowhere near. He shouldn't be anywhere near anything to do with finance, especially anything to do with financing countries with billions of dollars. But anyway, you can, if you want to have a read through this and pause and have a look, you can. But these were given to us. So this is just kind of like showing you a little bit more about his appeal, and that is so basically this is where it was sustained. So hereby sustained that he is to be barred, and that was on the January 2015. So these were the bank coordinates for that was sent to the finance minister of Liberia. And these are the bank accounts. So the first one at the top was they use shell companies, and through these shell companies they transfer the money to then go to their own individual banks. Now they always use addresses that are more like PO boxes. So One Piece Analytics LLC bank account, First National Bank of Durango. Oh, okay, so maybe that's one of Kim's banks. Who knows? So this is the bank account name, and the bank account number is there. So once all this money's been, so what she's trying to do is she's putting this document that was sent to the finance minister is all of those that were involved in the transaction of making sure that the billions of dollars were sent to Liberia. Now, it sits in the account until it clears. And then while it's sitting in that account, that's how they intercept and take their 2% out before it's been declared fraud. By then, the money's been taken out. And I know it's electronic, but it's still money. And by then, they've laundered it, and it's gone into several different accounts. And these are some of the accounts that they were using. So there's another one, and there's another one. And the one we want to look at is Westley Holdings. Now, Westley Holdings is Blair West company. And this is one of his bank accounts that he was using. So we just blow it up a little bit more. So it's a checking account. Westleaf Holdings, Southampton, New York. Yeah. And like I said, he's got the nice little stamp on the bottom there. And this is what we've been saying all along, is that these documents they provide, I mean, throughout all these, even the associates videos we've done, they get fraudulent papers, and they use templates and just send them to countries and companies, and we don't. And now we know that she's a scammer, but some of these countries don't do the due diligence. I mean, they do now. I mean, her name's all over the place now of Kim being a fraud, and she's well known. She can't do this anymore. Now, it might be because of what Team Bubba's done by putting, showing our information out there, or maybe they know, she's not to be trusted. Look, we're not going to be taking the credit for this, but this system that's been set up that they use now, that they'll be looking all over the internet now, and her name will be popping up. Oh, Kim Goguen, yeah, right, we know about her. She's all over the internet, and they share information, and they have databases with blacklisted people on there. Kim cannot do anything anymore to do with banking. She's completely finished, and now she's starting other things like selling TV, streaming, illegal IPTV, and using people like Line Life Force for their services, get them to do all the work, steal their ideas, and when she sees the right opportunity, she'll say, okay, well let's patent this, let's go ahead and do this, and we can pull money and do that. I mean, the stuff like selling merchandise and that, I mean, she's not really going to make much money on that. The TV money, she might make a bit, but the big thing here is that she's looking and searching for the gold bars, as in like the ideas that you in Life Force. I've got some great ideas. She's going to steal them, and she has done. She's stealing people's work. She's stealing people's ideas, and a lot of people are finished. They've got nothing. That's all they had. If you've got ideas in farming, if you've got ideas in agricultural, holistic type methods, even some of these healing devices and that, she'll get involved, and she will rip out everything from that company. She'll tear it apart, and she'll use it for her own advantage, and that is what she's doing on whatever she gets involved in. She's not nice. Look, all the people she's been involved with, and they've all left. Thomas Williams, Tank now. There's loads of people she's been involved with. Anyway, let's get back onto this story. So, here's a little synopsis of the Man World Ordering Trust and the conspiracy about how they've got this, put this together. I mean, I will go through how they do the banking scam, but here's a few notes that were made to us on how it all works. So the Man World Trust is a sovereign citizen crime operation with senior member Kimberly and Goguen that uses a non-bank server to send virtual funds to the target bank with the intent to withdraw real cash as fees before the bank discovers their fraud. This is what the Man World Trust attempted in 2018 in Liberia, where one of its operatives, James Lamin Carboy, there's an I missing off his name there, because he's got an aliases, was arrested, plus other senior members, Blair A West and Steve Lipton was another one. Yeah, it's a fugitive charged with banking fraud. Liberia fraud consists of sending via their non-bank server 5.914 billion in virtual funds, plus attempted by the Manor operatives to steal 32 million in real cash as fees. And of course, there's a bit at the bottom there that the FBI do see sovereign citizen movement as a terrorist threat. to the USA. That's not me, that is the FBI. I've called it. I'm not saying I agree. I want to put that in there because they use it. They're using the sovereign topic on everything they get involved in to try and think, oh yeah, I'm sovereign, I want to be sovereign, I want to be free. So there's 4 key points on the scam, which I will go into a bit more detail in a bit. So first one is by misusing a Fed routing number, they placed a fraudulent temporary credit in a bank account in Liberia for 5.9 billion. Point 2. Then the Manor gang tried to withdraw 32 million in fees in real cash before the fraudulent temporary credit was discovered. So this is the same kind of scam known as the Nigerian check fraud. As you can look that up. They do this quite a lot and it's not just in Nigeria, of course, but I think this is where it was originally came from, the idea. Unfortunately, point 3, the Manor gang, the USA Fed, quickly uncovered their scheme, notifying Liberia, erased the phony credit, blocked the withdrawal of 32 million. So they tried to take it out and they couldn't because it was blocked by the Fed. 1 person was arrested and 5 are fugitives. Now this is the system they use, the Arch system, and Kim has used this in many of her videos. Blue screen or green screen or whatever, plus they use this Arch system, which is used to every year to move 41 trillion and 24 billion electronic financial transactions. And this is how it works. And don't ask me how they use it and how it got intercepted, but I believe that this was here. This is where Kim puts in virtual money, goes through all these certain points through clearing bit, and then before the receiver gets the money, it sits it somewhere in between here, and then it's intercepted. It got intercepted by the Fed. But what they wanted to do when it gets to the overseas bank, I think it's around here, is where it's called clearing. They can actually tap into the money and pull out what they call is won't say laundering, but it's theft of money. They take 1 or 2% out of it, and if it was to sit in this receiver's bank account, it wouldn't be. They can see it. They can see it here clearing, and to them, they see it's in their bank account, but it's not. It's like if I send you some money in an account and it's sitting there pending, they think they've got 5 billion in their account. So there's set up fees, transact, and things like that. They then send the money to Kim, and also at the same time they try to siphon off money at this point, virtual money, and then start laundering the money and moving the money around into different accounts. So yeah, you can look that up yourself. That's how Arch works, automated clearinghouse network. So I'm probably guessing that you want to know, how Liberian bank scam was done. Okay, so this is how it was done. So they have an Arch terminal system, which is usually in a store somewhere or in a business, because not everyone can apply for one of these. So somehow Kim's got one of these. Then they print a check with Fed routing number plus some random 9-digit account number. Then the Arch terminal will place the credit into the recipient's bank account. So this is where they write the check, they put it through, and it's in the receiver's bank account number. Sorry, in the receiver's bank. Then Manuel Holding Trust tries to withdraw 1.2% before the credit is uncovered as fake, and of course it gets cancelled by the Fed. It's a sophisticated, like I said, the Nigerian check scam. That's basically, it's the same. But, we think that Manuel and Trust were surprised it worked to start off with for such a big number in Liberia. Then they didn't withdraw their 1.2% in time before the Fed cancelled the credit. So, that's it in a nutshell, really, is it's all about the virtual money going through the system. And this is the danger of systems like these. And thank God we've got like the Fed. I know some people see it as a bad thing. Oh, the Fed Reserve, Fed, is really bad, and it's got a bad name for itself in many things. But if it wasn't such things like the Fed, most of our money wouldn't be able to exist in transactions. You moving money from one bank account to another electronically. All right, yeah, we're talking on massive scale here, but it's still, we have processes in place to protect our money, so it goes from one place to the other without anyone stealing it. Of course, for criminals trying to defraud money, they'll do it for $50 or they'll do it for 50 billion, whichever it is. No matter, they'll do it for whatever amount they can get away for. But in this case, they've tried it on a big scale, and it's done in India. There's many more examples where Kim and gang have attempted to defraud countries and banks and companies, and we'll go into them. And it's all to do with this FMCA code they still use and the phony documents. And there's more people, more surprises that'll come up. And I'm sure that you that are in Life Force, some of these names and you'll see that they are not very nice people. Right, guys, thank you very much for listening, and please put your comments in the comments box below. We appreciate your comments, but try and be nice and kind, because that's what we are to you. It's all about respect, and if you are a Life Force person, you're more than welcome to come and join our team, Bubba, to ask us questions. Like I said, be kind. Don't come in accusing people of things unless you've got proof. And come on, if you've got proof, come in and show us. We want to see some proof. If Kim showed you the proof, or you've got proof Kim's legitimate, come along, bring it along. We want to see it. And if it's good, we'll put it in our show and say, look, okay, so we was wrong about that. This is what we found. But I've got a feeling you will not, because you will not see any proof that we haven't already seen. But you can try. Take care now. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.